this point, the Biden agenda, how much of that would get thumbs up from you in the Chamber of Commerce? And with Trump gone, would you see a return to more conservative principles, or are you going to embrace a bipartisan approach?
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Let's start with, we've worked with every administration since we were founded over 100 years ago, and there was a lot to work with in the Trump administration. You know, and we think the Trump administration did a lot of good things on taxes, on regulations, on judges, and we were proud to support those efforts. At the other end of the spectrum, we were at odds on some trade and some tariff and some immigration issues. That's true with every administration, right? And it'll be true with the Biden administration. There are going to be things that we can work on together, and there are going to be things that we're going to fight because we just don't think that they're good for American workers and communities and job creators. So I think there's going to be things, particularly on a unifying economic agenda, on getting America back to health and back to work, where we can work together. And there'll be places like there are with every administration where we're going to fight.
How about raising the minimum wage to $15? Does the Chamber of Commerce support those efforts?
$15 feels like a political number, not an economic number, right? $15 in some places in the middle of the country is really different than what we might be experiencing on a coast. And so $15 doesn't seem like the right number. It's possible the minimum wage needs to be increased, but that's not a decision that should be made uniformly.
So
like
the Chamber would advocate for raising the minimum wage federally?
I think the Chamber would say if you could get to the right number that made a difference for Americans without putting Americans out of work, right? I mean, what the studies say is that a raise to $15 an hour puts something like 1.5 million people out of work. We already have 10 million people out of work, and that is not the right place to start and get back to economic health.
So in general, you think that the federal government should be going into the marketplace and deciding what a minimum wage actually should be. So the Chamber of Commerce would say that there is a minimum wage the federal government should have, but it may not be $15. Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to understand, because I'm not. Is that what you're saying? You do think that there is a certain level where the minimum wage should be set by the federal government?
I think that's right. But I think that number shouldn't be politically motivated. It should be economically motivated and according to the laws of supply and demand.
Right. That would be the way it's set now, just by market forces. How about raising taxes? Which tax increases would the Chamber of Commerce be supportive of? On the individuals, on corporations? Should the Trump tax cuts, would the Chamber of Commerce advocate for rescinding those tax cuts?
This is absolutely not the right time to raise taxes on any American and on any business. That is not the right thing to do in the middle of this economic crisis.
Okay, how about when the pandemic has been, when we're in a better place? How about then? What's the proper level for corporate taxes in the United States, in your view?
I can't imagine a situation where the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is going to support a rise in corporate taxes. Okay,
then, so some of the other regulations that we've seen in the early days of the Biden administration, is the Chamber supportive of some and not others in terms of, for example, Keystone, in terms of some of the other environmental initiatives that we've seen, some of the Trump deregulation that was rolled back? What does the Chamber think of that?
Look, this Keystone project was not an environmental decision. That was a political decision. That was the most studied project in the history of man. I mean, how many environmental reviews did that pass? 5 at least, maybe under President Obama. And so the concept that with every administration, we're going to have businesses start over on their strategy, start over on their tactics, that's just politically motivated. There is no environmental reason that project should have been canceled.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.